Welcome everyone to the 2025 NFPL Conference Finals with the top two teams in the Southwest, Brusa FC and Colorado Futsal Academy. Please give a warm welcome to the starting five players of Colorado Futsal Academy. And now for home team Brusa, starting five. Yeah, this team actually. Colorado Martins. You got the roster? Welcome everyone to the 2025 NFPL Conference Finals with the top two teams in the Southwest, Brusa FC and Colorado Futsal Academy. Please give a warm welcome to the starting five players for the Colorado FC Academy. Jenny Caro, Jesus Guillen, Pedro Montes, Emmanuel Vivas, and Ronald Rojas. And now for your home team Brusa starting five, Kawe Martins, Micah Basie, Jared Wilson, Mateus Lima, and Ian Caracas. And now, please stand for the national anthem.
Welcome to Chandler Gilbert Community College in Chandler, Arizona for the second half of our NFPL semifinal doubleheader. If you caught the action in the first game, Futsal Factory Academy cemented their undefeated season in the Midwest, securing a 7-1 win against Cadence SFC. But we're looking for a more competitive matchup here in the second half. Brusa FC hosting the Southwest semifinal against Colorado. Brusa FC 7-1 with a recent win against Colorado. Is most recent is this past Saturday in Colorado, 5-3. Both of these teams have been done pretty well in their matchup so far as we are off. Starting lineups for both sides, you heard them, but let's rephrase them again. Brusa FC starting Jared Wilson in goal, Mike Vasey, Kawe Martins, Mateus Lima, and Jan Nascimento. And it's an early goal! Oh my goodness! Let's get the party started in Arizona. Who was that? Martins. Early goal here, 1-0. Less than 30 seconds in. Holy moly. The early goal for Brusa FC. That's his 7th goal of the season. He is the head coach of this Brusa FC team. A team that has finished the regular season 7-1 with 21 points in the Southwest Division. What a way to get started here. So now that we've done that, let's go through the Colorado starting lineup. Gene Caro in goal. Their elder goalkeeper, Emmanuel Vivas, Ronald Rojas, Pedro Montez, and Jesus Guillen, the leading assister for this Colorado team. Leading goal scorer for Brusa FC, Mateus Lima, who scored 3 goals last week against Colorado to secure the win in that matchup and to secure home court advantage in this game. Here's an early shot there. A little wide to the right. A lot of action happening in both final thirds to start this game. That shot from Caro too high, as the leading goal scorer in the NFPL, Becano Valles, who leads the NFPL with 16 goals scored, the Venezuelan native, is not starting for Colorado. So interesting development here. Need to make sure everything's good with the camera. Apologies for that, folks, but those are the starting lineups on both sides. Let's talk about the keys to the game. For Brusa FC, their biggest keys for them are to play with rhythm and high pressure. If you watch the last game, you saw that was the big key to victory for Futsal Factory, and they executed it to perfection. When you play with the right amount of rhythm and everybody's in step, makes a huge difference when you play against a team that doesn't have as much chemistry. But these are both teams with a lot of chemistry. Both teams that have played with each other for quite a long time. Caro, a veteran keeper. Becano Valles, who was instrumental in this team winning the Southwest Division last year, or conference, however you want to phrase it. Emmanuel Vivas with a highlight reel goal in the championship game, if you remember. Well, with guys like Jorge Castellanos, so we'll see at some point, Carlos Adrian. And also some newcomers like Ronald Rojas, who has started, yet to score a goal this season. This play continues on there through the physical contact. Colorado ball just inside the final third. They'll kick it back though. So to reset, here's Vivas on the near side. Has an open shot, not quite. Saved by Jared Wilson. First save of the afternoon, of the evening, excuse me. And while we wait for this camera to return, let's talk about the keys of the game for Colorado. Their big keys were possession and efficiency on the offensive side of the ball. They don't necessarily need to be able to, that is a loud broadcast, I apologize. Or a loud feed, excuse me. We'll make sure our producer fixes all that stuff for you guys. And then the big key to the game for Colorado on defense is to limit the transition. So 2 big keys to the game up to this point for Colorado. 1-0 lead for Brusa. They scored in the first 30 seconds. As that is Jesus Guillen putting it back in. Sends it around. That's Vivas. Back to Guillen. Near side, Pedro Montes. And they are going to lose the ball. That is a turnover. So now ball swings back in favor of Brusa. 7-1 team. Such a fun team to watch. A team that plays with a lot of energy. As now Patrick Ruiz is checked in. We'll also see the assistant coach, Cristian Lima. I assume the relation to Mateus Lima as well. So we have some uncharacteristic issues here with the connection for Brusa FC. So I apologize there. Patrick Ruiz. A lot of players playing in this game for Brusa that have had key games or key performances against this Colorado team, including Patrick Ruiz, who I just mentioned, 3 goals, 2 assists in the win over Colorado on February 15th, as well as Mateus Lima, futsal veteran, who scored 3 goals last week, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast. So this is a team that has beat Colorado all 3 times they've played, as far as I know. But certainly all competitive matchups between the 3 of them. So here's Ruiz set to put it back in. Ruiz sends it around. Brusa player on the far side. Sends it back. That's Lima. Ruiz wants the ball back. He's going to get it off the little flip kick. Here's a chance to potentially capitalize on that, but Giancarlo says no. Here's an interesting goal scoring opportunity. Pedro Montes scoring his first goal. Excuse me, that is his 5th goal of the season. But his first goal of the afternoon. Wow. A picture-perfect pass to Pedro Montes to put it in. And we have a game, folks. Like we said, it's going to be whoever makes the most of their opportunities in this game. Pedro Montes scoring his 5th goal. Here's another one! Oh, my!
Goal.
Mateus Lima! No, excuse me. That's Jan Nascimento with his 7th goal of the year. My bad. That's the head coach scoring his 2nd goal of the afternoon. It was off the deflection of Nascimento. Holy moly. A lot of stuff going on. I'm trying to keep up. I don't know how you folks at home are doing. Ball goes out of bounds in the final third. Brusa will get possession back. 2-1 lead. The game was tied, but not for too long. Here's another shot from Brusa. Not going to capitalize, though. Less than 4 minutes into this game. It is a wild set of affairs. My, oh my. So 2-1 lead for Brusa. Less than 4 minutes into the game. After Kawe Martins scored twice. Pedro Montes scored just before Martins scored his 2nd. That's a good save there for Caro. It's Ovias to send it back in, the leading goal scorer in the NFPL, 16 goals to his name, who did not start in this matchup. Sends it inside. Ronald Rojas thought he had a teammate behind him. He did not, so possession will flip back to Brusa. Micah Vasey puts it back in. That quick kick out of bounds on the other side of the court. We'll give possession back to Caro and Colorado. Fun matchup up to this point. Here's Caro. Sends it to Avias. Cross court, here we go. Rojas, double teamed, gets the ball taken away from him. Not quite. Yes, he does. That's Patrick Ruiz trying to make something happen here. And here we go on the other side. Emmanuel Vivas goes off the legs of Jared Wilson. Good save for him there. Excuse me, never mind, it went through his legs, so possession will go back to Brusa. You're gonna see some high press defense from Colorado. That ball thrown to the other side of the court, but goes back to Brusa. Once Vasey on the far side is going to get him. Wanted that swift kick goal. Did not connect on it though, so possession flips back to Colorado. It's been a fun game up to this point. Carlos Adrian has checked in now. Looks like that went off the foot of Avias. Not quite. They're going to get possession in the final third. So not quite a corner, but just about that same kind of play. Here's a chance. Guillen wants a goal. Saved by Wilson. Everyone's trying to figure out what the hell the Brusa player is doing. Pedro Montes is going to take it from the corner. Referee's going to back up that Brusa defender. Standing inside. Colorado player tripped. Carl wanted something, not able to capitalize. Possession back to Brusa. Cross-court pass to Mateus Lima. Nothing there, so here we go. Avias. Not able to connect. This Colorado team has struggled to connect up to this point in the game. Even though they had that pretty slick goal from Pedro Montes. Came off a beautiful pass. Micah Vasey receives. Here's Ruiz. Deflected. Brusa keeps possession. Talking to Kawe Martins before this game started, he said this home crowd support has been incredible this year at Chandler Gilbert Community College in Chandler, Arizona. He said it's been nice to have such a huge and rowdy crowd at all of their games so far, and they just want to thank the fans for all of their support this season, regardless of whether this is their last home game or not. Remember, the winner of this game will be hosting the championship game 2 weeks from today. Colorado maintaining possession. Here's Avias. Ball swung around. That's Guillen on the far side. Good three-man mix. Avias once again almost faced a double team. Not quite. Guillen gets it on the near side. Trying to beat that 1v1 defending. Didn't like what he saw, so he sends it back. Avias picks it off the foot of a Brusa player. Retains possession for Colorado. A little over 7 minutes into this game. 2-1 lead in favor of Brusa. Here's Guillen. Now a shot. Far side, that was just a little too much. But it was deflected though, so Colorado will get a corner. It's going to be Avias to put it in. Put it back into play, I should say. Here's Avias on the wing. Wanted something fancy, not going to get it. frustrated with himself there. But Colorado keeps possession though. Carl getting involved. That's Guillen on the far side in the corner. Off the chest of Wilson's. Good save there. Wants something crazy halfway across the court. Brusa not able to capitalize. Third save of the day for Jared Wilson. Guillen's had a lot of possession time on his own. Here's Carlos Adrian trying to make something happen. Straight into the chest of Wilson once again. That was Brian Vargas not connecting with that pass right there. 2 goals, 2 assists from him, one of the few players that resides in the United States from this Brusa team, or at least it was born in America. Here's a shot deflected off the foot of Pedro Montez from Patrick Ruiz. Gonna look to put it in on the corner. Colorado coached by Vinicius Moraes. Not his first season with Colorado Futsal Academy, but his first year at the helm as the head coach of the pro men's team. Here we go. Great save there from Carl. A lot of action going on there in the paint. Managed to figure his way out and keep possession for Colorado. All the games between these two have been close. Some great footwork there. Here's Ruiz on the other side, manages to keep it in bounds, not quite. Manuel Vivas back in. One of the high efficiency players for this Colorado team. Are pretty much all Venezuelan team besides Yohel Delgado. Seems that there's some sort of foul call, not sure what it is, maybe a handball. Montez not happy with the ruling. Regardless, it's going to be Ruiz to take the kick. Semifinal matchup here, Chandler, Arizona. Winner of this game will be the host of Futsal Factory 2 weeks from tonight in the NFPL championship game. High stakes, both of these teams have been in playoff contention 2 of the last 3 years. Great save there from Caro. Foul going to be called there instead. And oh my, it's going to be a penalty kick. Oh man, I don't know about that. To award a penalty kick, I'd like to see something a little more forceful, a little more aggressive. But regardless, the ref's call is going to stand. So Brusa has a chance to extend their lead. And Colorado is not happy about it. It's going to be Alexis Flores to take the kick for Brusa. Only 1 goal to his name this season. Gene Caro. Let's not move the camera too much. We know where the ball is placed. Gene Caro. Veteran keeper, can he save this one? Let's find out. In the back of the net, Alexis Flores. To extend the lead. I said it was Lima, but my roster says Alexis Flores is 17, so I'll roll with it for now, but we'll look to check in on that as the game continues. Colorado now finding themselves in a deficit, but with over 30 minutes left to play, not that bad. So they just got to find ways to make better connection on these passes and maintain possession. That was one of the keys to the game for Vinicius Marias, the head coach of Colorado Futsal Academy, one of the few head coaches of a futsal team that does not actually play for the team. As we see Kyle Martins, as well as Drew Ducker, who's the head coach of Futsal Factory, who played in the first game of our doubleheader this evening. It's a common staple amongst futsal, something that I was unfamiliar with before I came to learn the game. Ruiz sends this one in. Header. Here's Vasey with a chance to put it in. Great save from Caro. Great awareness by the defense to be able to retain possession. It's Jorge Castellanos who's seen his first game action. Very active chat this evening. Great to have all of you guys, especially Victor Vargas, saying, yeah, he clearly pulled him before he tried shooting. Like the argument, I'd have to see the replay before I completely agree. I'd like to see discussion back and forth. Feel free to show your support for either Brusa FC or Colorado Futsal Academy in the comments. We're glad to have you all here on the National Futsal Premier League YouTube channel. Here's a shot, and in the back of the net! Jesus Guillen! The turnaround shot! Got the keeper involved. Like we talked about, finding those key passes. I mean, that was exciting stuff to see. Obviously, the crowd not into it. You barely heard a peep from the 200 plus here at Chandler Gilbert Community College. Now makes it a 3-2 lead. Oh, here's a chance to put it in and tie the game. That's Jorge Castellanos on that one. Jared Wilson scrambling for his life, trying to prevent that from going in. And great awareness. And now it's going to lead to a timeout for Brusa. They need to recollect after 2 quick goals scored in succession. I'm going to try to gather my voice here from all the excitement. 3-3 tie midway through the first. We'll be right back. If you're just joining us, it's been a heck of a matchup so far. Less than 10 minutes into the game, 6 goals have already been scored. Brusa FC obtained a 3-1 lead off of a penalty kick and goal from Alexis Flores or Christian Lima, whoever that is. And then Jesus Guillen and Jorge Castellanos scored 2 goals within a minute to tie the game at 3. With about 10 minutes left to go here in the first half. Anybody's game. Colorado Futsal Academy, you may remember, was in the championship game last season when they traveled up to High Velocity in Canton, Michigan to play that game on the road. It ended up being defeated, but Brusa FC a couple seasons ago won the Southwest Championship, you might say. That was before that the Midwest and Southwest conferences came to play each other in a final game. Brusa FC ended up winning their conference at 4-1-1. That was 2 seasons ago. Trying to figure out what's going on at the moment. Oh, okay, so it is going to be a Brusa corner. They were retrieving the ball. I didn't notice that. Now it's ball's off screen, but Brusa set to put it back in. Might want Vasey. No, they're going to find Jan Nascimento instead as that ball goes out of bounds. Possession stays with Brusa, though. Excellent chat fodder going on right now. We appreciate everybody watching the National Futsal League semifinals here on a Saturday night doubleheader. Exciting matchup here. Mike Avesi trying to get a shoe tie before play resumes. Possession going to Colorado. In the final third, it looks like they're going to kick it back, though. No, not quite. A little bit of misdirection. Now in the corner, almost a double team sent out by Brusa, so Colorado will keep it. Ball sent in. Great save from Wilson. Cleared out by Brusa as it hits the ceiling. Hopefully it doesn't knock a light out. That's probably more than the rental space cost, so look to avoid that. Fifth save of the evening for Jared Wilson. It's been unbelievable tonight. Here's Mike Avesi, wants a shot, gets it on, but into the arm of Gene Caro. Ball moving around, it looks like a little bit of roughhousing from the Brusa player. Looks like that was a foul on Mateus Lima. Ball's looking like it's swinging in favor of Colorado Futsal Academy. Let's see what happens here. That shot too high. Jared Wilson getting hyped up about it. We mentioned this is a largely Venezuelan team for Colorado. For Brusa, a lot of players from Brazil, a lot of players from the United States, as well as Jared Wilson from Alaska. Not that Alaska's a different, not, Alaska's also part of the USA, but certainly in a different region than the rest of America. Take a look at this quarterback pass that we try to see here. Oh, a tough foul there. Gene Caro is on the ground. I apologize, the view on my screen is just a little blurry, so I'm trying to make out what's going on. Not sure if I mentioned this at the top of the broadcast. I am broadcasting remotely from my home boat in Howell, Michigan. A couple thousand miles northeast, I would say, from our location. Maybe less than 1,000, I'm not sure. Caro able to get up on his own. If you haven't voted yet, 1, what are you doing? 2, make sure you get them in before halftime. We'll look to review the voter percentage at halftime. Gave you a little bit of a look some time ago. So it is going to be a foul. Brusa will get possession. Caro back on his feet. Good to see. Brusa player on the far end. Again, I will do my best with numbers, but this is a blurry view for all of us, so we will try our best. Shot inside. Sent out of bounds by a Colorado player, so goes back to that same corner. Let's look to see them run this play again. A little bit of a pick and pop action going on. Whistle blew, so possession is overturned. So as we look to see what's going on here, possession is overturned. Here we go, Brusa, essentially with a transition takeaway. Not quite. Here's Pecano Valles, the leading goal scorer, trying to get an assist, and nothing there. We're going to say it's a foul instead. So in the final third, Colorado will have a chance to take the lead for the first time in this game. They've either been tied or at a deficit for the entirety of the first half. A little over 13 minutes in. Again, apologies for the audio issues as we look to clear up whatever the issues we're having at Brusa's facility in Chandler, Arizona. Emmanuel Vivas to take the kick. Pecano Valles behind him. He's got one player in the paint against 4 defenders and the keeper. Avias fakes it. Here's Vivas. Finds Avias. Wants a shot and gets the assist. Easy find. Jorge Castellanos with his second goal of the game. To take the lead at 4-3. Castellanos, that is his 10th goal of the season. Such a good player, always finds himself in the right spot. Beautiful look there. Clearly a play that is drawn up for that kind of action. So here's Avias as Colorado gets the ball back. Trying to find themselves in the championship game for the second year in a row. Quick turnover here. Here's Guillen. Wants a teammate, not going to find him. That ball shoved out of bounds. Gives Brusa some breathing room up to this point. Here's Guillen trying to keep it in bounds. He will. That pass just a little over the head of Jared Wilson, but no one on the other side to receive it. Tight defense from Colorado here. Emmanuel Vivas able to get the ball back. Looking for Castellanos there, not going to find him. Looks like the foul was called off the ball. Referee wasn't ready, so possession does not start quite yet for Brusa. Now it does. Here's Vasey, sends it back. Ball sent out wide. This possession goes back to Colorado. Here's Caro. Finds Vivas near side. Here's Castellanos trying to make something happen here. again, cross-court pass. No one's there to receive it. So those little touches that make the huge difference. About players knowing where to be when they're off the ball. Those have been instrumental in Colorado scoring up to this point. So even though they keep missing opportunities, they find ways to get the ball back. Possession is huge for them, as well as efficiency. They don't think they need to push the pace, but if they can settle into their rhythm, they can definitely find a way to come out with the win in a hostile environment. Shouldn't say hostile, it's in a threatening environment, just hostile as in not where they typically play at home. 4-3 lead. Entertaining game to watch up to this point. Vasey now facing a press defense. Vasey going to find the ball with a one-on-one opportunity. Tries to get it past Caro. Good save. Fourth save of the evening. Had another transition opportunity. Here's the third one in a row. Brusa trying to make something happen. Caro's on the ground. Blocked and sent out of bounds. Great work from the Colorado defense. Vinicius Moraes is going to call a timeout here in a second, but they don't have possession yet. So for now, Brusa is going to try to do what they can to score potentially. Oh, tough fall from Gene Caro. Nothing happened. Oh, and now we're going to... Card. So if you missed what just took place moments ago, apologies, our stream crashed. Internet issues all the way around, I guess, but there was a header that took place pretty close to the goalpost, and now there's a red card being given to the photographer. Is that what I just saw? Okay, hold on. Let's let's recap here for a second. Gene Caro went up to try to head the ball out, as well as a Brusa player that was in the paint. Caro obviously collided, and they both fell on the ground. Caro was not a fan of it, so he gave the good old two-handed shove to the Brusa player, which earned him a yellow card and almost caused a fight to break out, but the refs were able to get in the middle of it. The players that were not as emotional were able to find their way inside and, prevent the fight from breaking out, so thank goodness for that. And it looks like one of the referees just threw out a red card to one of the people just kind of standing on the sideline. It was not the head coach, Vinicius Moraes, because he's still there. You see him talking to a Brusa player in the bottom right part of your screen. That's their head coach. It looks like the red card was given to a photographer. Yes, so Gene Caro did receive a yellow. And he had some words to say with the referees as well as the other team. But just a yellow. The referee's making a lot of explanations that I don't understand. I was trying to read his mouth, read his lips and see what his hands were doing. Obviously, there was a card on both sides, or I shouldn't say on both sides. 2 cards given out to Colorado. What we talked about is we're going to get a timeout from Colorado just to make sure everybody can settle down and settle in. They still have the lead, 4-3, 6 minutes left to go in the first half. They just want to make sure that attentions don't get out of control. There was someone ejected from the game, but I do not believe it was anyone that was on the court. So we'll try to clear up all this information and give you the result of it after this. Play's about to resume here in a couple minutes. Shouldn't say, oh, I hope not a couple minutes, couple seconds for Colorado. They like to take their sweet time, make sure they use every second of that timeout that was given to them. And we can confirm that it was the female photographer, not the one that's at the bottom right side of your screen, but she was just being a little too mouthy with the female referee, and she was just not having any of it. So she was ejected. Play resumes here. Looks like everybody's on their best behavior now, thank goodness. Here's Vasey, the fixo spot. Ruiz will send it out. Results in a turnover, so Vivas will put it back in. Looks like the emotions have settled with Gene Caro as well, who is still in at keeper. Something else to note, when Caro got up after he gave that Brusa player the two-handed shove, he got up and was grabbing his shirt or grabbing his neck, saying like, he pulled my shirt or he pulled my neck or something like that. So again, we've had some active commenters kind of give their analysis of the situation. That's a shot just left of the goal post. So I'm curious to see what your take is on all of this. Feel free to comment below. Feel free to vote in our poll. And we also posted a link of the foul that led to a penalty kick. Feel free to give your opinion on that as well. A penalty kick goal from Christian Lima was the last goal that this Brusa team has scored. Since then, it's been 3 in a row from Colorado. Here's a shot straight into the hands of Wilson. 6th save of the evening. Far side. A little too much. He was looking for Kawe Martins on that. Mateus Lima able to save that out of bounds, prevent the easy scoring opportunity for Colorado. The referee on the left side of your screen is making sure Ronald Rojas and that Brusa defender are being on their best behavior. I believe that is Mateus Lima. Ball sent far to Gene Caro. Caro wants a Valles, he gets him. Looking for some slick movement there. Vasey, great defense to send it out. Still in possession of Colorado though in the final third. Off the foot of his teammate. Here's Vasey, wants something in transition. A little too far wide. Had the look that he wanted, not able to capitalize though. Kraus sends it in. Rojas, nothing there. Vivas keeps the ball in bounds. Not quite. Not sure what you're doing there. I believe they would have had possession if he just let it go. So instead, Brusa will get the corner. One of their slick plays they've been trying to run. Ball will go left of the camera angle. Almost on cue. I don't think you can hear us, but maybe you can. He or she, not sure who's behind the camera this evening. Jared Wilson sends it out. Just looking to fight another day instead. A little over 5 minutes left to go in the first half. Manuel Vivas not able to retain possession there. Yen is though. Here's Rojas, back to Valles. Leading goal scorer in the NFPL. Valles will get it back, defended by Micah Vasey. Yen in the corner, trying to avoid some sort of double team. Slick moves, but just goes right back to Jared Wilson. Possession will flip. Carlos Adrian, no, excuse me, that was Jan Nascimento giving it to Mateus Lima. Sends it out of bounds. A lot of flipping back and forth for possession. Carl looking to get involved in the offense. Pedro Montez will send it to him. Nascimento was unaware of what they were trying to do. Doesn't matter. So when events happen, they happen in quick succession because we have a couple minutes of nothing and then a bunch of stuff happens. And vice versa. So it's been a little bit of that all season long. Sorry, not all season, all evening long. For this game at least. Mariah's yelling at Montez. Trying to make sure their voices are heard. You also see Castellanos making his coaching adjustments, trying to echo what Marias is saying. That ball was sent a little far wide, but Brusa retains possession. Mateus Lima trying to capitalize. Not going to. Shot is blocked. Possession goes back to Colorado. Carl with one of his soft passes that he's known for. They want a handball. They're going to get it. Vivas. Back to Montez. Here's Avias. Trying to keep it alive. Wants a foul. Not going to get the call. And when someone's shouting a horn like that all game long, I don't know how you keep your focus. I'll be honest. I'm sitting here as a broadcaster trying to make sure I know what I'm talking about. These guys have a much tougher job than I do. Manuel Vivas to put it back in. Sends it to the keeper, Caro. Such a staple of this team, such a glue guy. Not only is he a great keeper, but also being the elder of this team, the veteran. Someone that this team relies on to keep the peace and keep the team together. So I was very shocked that the team didn't that they didn't raise an emotion once Carl was upset earlier in the game when he got that yellow. Basically not able to receive that pass. So Colorado will get the ball once again. And this is the game that Colorado wants to play. They want to be able to keep the possession for long periods of time. They don't want to push the pace too fast. Shaq Brusa hasn't been a little tighter, a little more aggressive with their defense. Expect to see stuff like that more often, but regardless, they get the ball back now. Let's see what they do on offense here. It's been quick possessions for them. Patrick Ruiz to send it in. Here's Vasey. Not able to retain possession. Something about Vasey is off tonight. He gets the ball and then immediately either goes through his feet or off of his foot, out of bounds. Here's Montez, near side, defended by Vasey. Ovias trying to prevent the turnover. Montez able to get past the defender off the back foot of Ovias, who will get the ball back now. Good defense from Brusa. Not letting anything crazy happen. Preventing Colorado from doing anything too frisky. Carl passes it down the court. In the final third, here's Vivas. Trying to keep his defender off. That's Vasey. Here's Montez. Off the foot of the Brusa defender. That's Mateus Lima. Back to Ovias now. Ovias will receive the pass once again. Ovias trying to get that foul once again. I don't must not be selling it well enough. The referee not buying it. Micah Vasey with possession. Like we talked about, he's been trying to keep that ball in. Ronald Rojas sends it out. Vasey will be the one to put it back in. Sends it back. Here's Mateus Lima. almost had the shot and the goal. That was Joey Fuller who wanted that. Has yet to score a goal this season. Very even matchup, only one goal lead for Colorado. Gene Carl, 4 saves on the day. Jared Wilson with 6. And both teams with a goal scorer that scored 2. Martins for Brusa and Jorge Castellanos for Colorado. Jesus Guillen trying to prevent anything crazy from happening. Ruiz is going to be the one to put it back in for Brusa in the final third. These set pieces have been critical for Brusa. Been critical for both sides, I would say. Here's Vasey, has a shot, gonna get pushed in the back, and that's gonna be another penalty kick. Colorado is furious. When you take 2 hands and you go, boom, shove them to the ground, you're gonna see here. I don't know, he did kind of trip up as well. I think that's a correct call. I would have to side with the referees on that one. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below or to the side. Forget how. Depends on what you're watching on. If you're watching on a phone, it's down below, but if you're on a browser, it's off to the right side of your screen, I believe. Isaac M says 2 soft PKs. Red team is selling. Love the action in the chat. Thanks for tuning in here. So let's see. It's going to be one to take. It is going to be Mateus Lima. Scored 3 goals last time around. Has yet to score today. It was Christian Lima last time around. So now the other Lima with a chance to score. Giancarlo not able to save the last PK. Tie the game. Too high. And now you see Carlos Adrian grabbing his junk. I would be counting his I would be counting my blessings if I were him. That's a yellow card in most leagues around the country. I guess this Red Crew did not see anything wrong with that expression. But wow, that's a foul call in favor of Colorado. They're going to get the ball back. Players are getting rowdy now. You see the Brusa player to the left of your screen shouting, and now a red card has been given to the head coach of Colorado. And the referee's saying, get the hell out of here. I've heard enough of you. Vinicius Moraes, I am not sure what was said. He is not taking too kindly to this at all. And the referee still is saying, I don't want to hear it. Isaac M letting his letting his voice be heard. Hey, I say have at it. Vinicius Moraes, not a fan. And you just saw who I believe is Christian Lima go up to the timekeeper and say, hey, earlier that the guy on the other team was grabbing his junk and you didn't do anything there. So Moraes going to pass off coaching duties to somebody else. I don't believe there's another quote-unquote assistant coach on that staff. And the referee's trying to sort everything out. If I'm being honest with you, I'm not sure what the foul count is here. So here's a yellow card given to either Lima or the keeper. Lima seems more frustrated, so I'm going to assume it's him. The head coach, Vinicius Moraes. I like it. Stand your ground. This is an exciting game to watch for many reasons. If you're keeping count at home, good for you. If you're not keeping count, let's recap. Caro was given a yellow card some time ago after he was not happy with a header, so he two-handed shoved the Brusa defender. A female photographer for Colorado was given the business to the female referee. She got tossed. The head coach, Vinicius Moraes, was also given the business to the referee. He's been tossed. And Lima just now was a little too mouthy with the referee, so he received a yellow. Pedro Montes fakes it. Here's Castellanos into the hands of Jared Wilson. Good save. After all that commotion, great persistence to be able to get that save there. Guillen wanted another shot at it, goes off the leg of Joey Fuller. So it turns into a corner. I don't know if you guys can see past that door. Both the photographer and Mariah's are standing there with the door open, still making their voices heard. I'm trying to keep my composure, be professional about it. That might be one of the best visuals I've seen at a sports game ever in my years working this thing. Here we go, Colorado, transition opportunity, Guillen. Saved by Wilson. Diving into the legs of Guillen to prevent that from going in. Patrick Ruiz off the leg of Guillen. Here's Lima keeping the ball in play, out of bounds. Possession stays with Brusa. High stakes, less than a minute left into this first half. Thank goodness it's the first half. Gives everybody a chance to cool down from what's been a crazy first half so far. Christina Lima to put it in. Off the leg of Manuel Vivas. Somehow Carlos able to keep possession alive. Less than a minute left to go. Pedro Montes near side into the legs of Wilson. 9th save for him. He has been unbelievable. 9 saves to Carlos 4. Here's Emmanuel Vivas, gets past the defender. Crashes into Christina Lima. Turns into a corner for Colorado. One of the last chances. Wanted the cross-court pass, no one was there. So possession will switch around. Brusa will receive possession now. Far side, that's Patrick Ruiz. They're not going to get possession. It's going to be Colorado with a last chance effort headed into the air. Swift kick from Jorge Castellanos, too high. Brusa just received a call that they are not happy about. They're going to say it went off the fingertip of, must have been Jared Wilson. If it went off the fingertip of Lima, there would be some issues. Guillen wanted something crazy, wanted that pass to be a little lower. See the frustration. Not much time left to go. Some sort of call there. Colorado will get the ball back. That's Jesus Guillen, the leading assister for Colorado. And that is the end of the first half. An eventful first half. My, oh my. There's the score, 4-3 in favor of Colorado. There was a lot going on, and I believe I've captured all of it. So I'll be back in roughly 10 minutes or so with a halftime report. We'll see you on the other side of that. Welcome to the halftime report. Trying to recap all of this in a very succinct fashion is giving me a headache, so I'm going to try to do the best I can. Jared Wilson leads in saves with 9-4 in favor of Brusa. Giancarlo has done pretty well, but just hasn't had to, save the ball as much as Jared Wilson has. A lot of shots on target from this Colorado team that started off not really connecting as much as they might like, but has been doing pretty well in the second half of the first half, if you will. Let's talk about who scored in the goals. Kawe Martins, the head coach, player extraordinaire for Brusa, scored the first two for Brusa. The first goal was answered by Colorado's Pedro Montez, who scored his 5th goal of the season when he made that one just less than 4 minutes into the game. Martins answered right back to give them a 2-1 lead. And then roughly halfway into the first half, Jesus Guillen and Jorge Castellanos scored 2 goals right in a row to tie the game back up. Excuse me, before that happened, a 3-1 lead was taken by Cristian Lima off of a penalty kick, which some fans in the comment section are arguing was a weak call. I'd probably agree with them. But regardless, that gave them a 3-1 lead, and then Guillen and Castellanos equalized it at 3 apiece. Castellanos then, just a few minutes later, would score another one to give them the 4-3 lead that you see on your scoreboard right now. There's also been a fair amount of commotion between these two teams. Only one yellow card has been given to Brusa. That's Mateus Lima, who's just being a little too mouthy with the referee at the end of a lot of commotion that happened on the Colorado futsal side. So there was a header from a Brusa player that got in the way of Giancarlo. Carlo was not a fan of that, so he gave the defender an offensive player, in this case, a 2-handed shove. That earned him a yellow. The female photographer was not a fan of all the commotion that took place after that. She was yelling at the referees, said something a little too much. She got tossed. And then the head coach, Vinicius Moraes, towards the end of the first half, was also being a little too mouthy with the referees. He was tossed. So now the head coaching duties are in the hands of somebody else in order to give them a chance to host the championship final. So a lot of heated emotion between these two teams. Both of these teams, the group of men. There's just a lot of folks who really want this championship game to be hosted. It would be the first championship game to be hosted at a Southwest home court, if that makes sense, as last year's home court was hosted by the Midwest at High Velocity when Colorado played there last year. But being able to host the championship final for the first time in NFPL history would be huge for either one of these two teams, these two programs that are so rooted in the game of futsal. Bruce has been very successful since they've joined the NFPL, as has Colorado. So such a fun matchup we've seen so far. And the second half is just getting ready to start here in a couple minutes. We'll look to fix this black screen for you, but until then, we will see you here for the second half. Second half getting ready to start in just a few moments here. The on-court audio is not coming up for some reason. We'll make sure we fix that for you. But Colorado will start 4-3 lead for them. It's been a hectic first half. If you're just joining us, you've missed quite a bit. Guillen going to receive the ball on the near side. Here's Montez, sends it around. That's Ronald Rojas, one of two players on his team that is yet to receive a stat line on this team so far this season. One interesting, excellent save! Oh my! Jumping into the air like Superman, Jared Wilson to save that one. Now Nascimento sending it far. Here's Vasey back to Nascimento. Shot a little too high. Jared Wilson's going to go walk to get that ball. One of the interesting things about Brusa I've not mentioned up to this point, they're the only team in this semifinal group, this group of four, that does not have a double-digit score on their team. Their leading scorer is Mateus Lima with 9 goals, and he scored 3 of them last week. So before that, everyone was just at 6 goals or less. So there are plenty of players with 6 goals on his team, including Micah Vasey, Kawe Martins, which is now moved up to 8 with his goals tonight, and Jan Nascimento. So a lot going on here for this Brusa team, a team where anybody can be successful in order to get the job done. But something pretty unique and interesting. If they end up pulling out the win today, it'll be a little different than what we've seen so far from some of these other teams in the finals. Winner of this game will take on Futsal Factory Academy at their home floor. Sorry, at the Southwest winners' home floor 2 weeks from tonight. So we'll either be back here in Chandler Gilbert Community College, or we'll be on the home floor of Colorado Futsal Academy in Aurora, Colorado. Such deep roots of futsal here with this Colorado group. Also associated with the Magnus Futsal School. The head coach, Vinicius Moraes, has had his hand in having that together. Keeping that together, I should say. A quick break opportunity. Pedro Montez not able to get the look that he wanted. Took the shot anyways, wide left. Nascimento finds Vasey towards the middle of the floor. Here's Patrick Ruiz. It's been subbed in. No, excuse me, that was Mateus Lima. In the final counts of the votes, Colorado Futsal Academy had it 63% in favor of them in terms of fans in the chat that want them to win. So great to see the support from both sides coming out in this game. It's been a fun one so far. Here's Nascimento, finds Lima. Nascimento once again into the hands of Caro. Great save from him. That's his 5th save of the evening. Brusa gets possession back. This is the game that Brusa wants to play. They want to establish their rhythm. They had a tough time establishing their rhythm, or keeping their rhythm, I should say, in the second part of the first half. Kind of Vias sends it cross court. Vias manages to keep it in. That's interesting. Here's Jesus Guillen. Back to Guillen. Has Montez to his right. Wants to move it up the floor, though. Finds Avias. Loses the ball. Here's Lima. Now on the cross court opportunity. Wanted Vasey, not going to find him, though. And the ball goes through the feet of Jan Nascimento. Akana Vias. finds a way to retain possession for his team. And Guillen sends it off of the thigh of a Brusa player. Looks like we're trying to reset so we can get that audio that we're looking for. 4-3 lead for Brusa. I'm not sure what the audio issue is here. We look to try to fix that the best that we can. Ball back in play. Cleared out from a Colorado player. Yeah, Nascimento now. Sends it off a foot. A Colorado player who's looking to take advantage of the opportunity. Had to get it past two Brusa players, though, not able to do so. And they retain possession for themselves. Such a shame about the audio. As the home court, that home crowd feel so important to this Brusa FC team. Obviously, they can still feel the energy in the building. Montez with the corner. Caro sends it wide. Guillen finds a player inside. No foul called. And there was one on Colorado, so looks like that was Martins that fell. And we'll take a step out. Patrick Ruiz will step in for him and receive the ball. Just a few minutes into the second half. Here's Vasey, now back to Lima. Giving the ball in play is Nascimento. Far side is Ruiz, straight into the chest of Wilson for another save. 11 saves for him. Brusa back with possession. Excuse me, that was Caro with the save, not Wilson, my bad. And here's a goal scored. Looks like by Micah Vasey. My apologies for missing that one. We look to get a better replay angle there. Whatever it was, we missed it. All we see is the goalkeeper, Gene Caro, on the ground. But Vasey will score his 7th goal of the season at a very critical time to tie the game up. Again, audio issues persisting throughout this game. I'm not sure what is causing it, but it looks like they're trying to fix it on their end. We appreciate their services. Such a critical point in the game. 4-4 tie. Micah Vasey scoring at a very critical point in the game to tie it up. You saw the kids coming down from the stands to congratulate him. Like we said, 7 goals on the season. No assists for him, surprisingly. He's very involved in the offense. Leading assister for this team is Patrick Ruiz with 4. So Vasey on the corner. Gets a shot, Ruiz. And another goal for Brusa! Yeah, Nascimento off the chest of Gene Caro. Boom! A swift roundhouse kick sends it into the back of the net. Glad we caught it right in time. Actually off the leg of Gene Caro instead. So to take the lead, it is Nascimento scoring his 7th goal of the season. The second player to score his 7th of the year. Actually, the third. Kawhi Martins achieved number 7 earlier tonight. So 2 goals in quick succession make it a 5-4 lead for Brusa. Corner to be taken here from Colorado. Sends it back to Caro. Ball swinging around. Here's Avias. Quick shot off the leg of Jared Wilson. Manages to retain possession, and now it goes back the other way. "11 saves on the evening for Jared Wilson, 7 for Caro. Avias keeps it in. Jesus Guillen. Caro manages to save it. Give Colorado another possession here. Here's a shot that is deflected out of bounds, so turns it into a corner. Not quite a save for Wilson. Had 2 defenders in front of him. Sends it in. Wanted the quick pass, not able to connect. And good sportsmanship from Jared Wilson to help up Jorge Castellanos, looking for his 3rd goal of the evening. Ball sent out wide. Caro keeps the possession alive for Colorado. That pass just a little too high, so possession will turn over to Brusa FC. Little chip shot over the head of Caro. See a little of that flip-flop back and forth between Brusa and Colorado in this game. Here's Guillen. Near side, defended by Lima. Shot, was not aware of where the goalpost was, so it's far to the right. Micah Vasey back to Patrick Ruiz now. Sends it around the corner and over the head of everybody. So Colorado gets it back on their side. 11 minutes left to go in the game. Brusa with a 1-goal lead. This is what you're looking for in the semifinals. A close, heated, intense matchup. Here's Guillen. Well, back heel flip. Wants Avias to score. Has a chance, leading goal scorer in the NFPL. Guillen receives it back up top. Now it's Avias. Defended by Lima. Guillen able to keep it in bounds. Swinging around. Cleared out by a Brusa defender. Guillen in the paint, looking to make something happen here. Possession retains. Here's Jorge Castellanos. Pecano Valles. As there's going to be a foul called on Brian Vargas. In the middle third, Colorado retains possession. Less than 10 minutes to go. Critical moments here. That ball shoved out of bounds. Possession will turn over to Brusa. Ball sent the other way and kicked off the foot of Emmanuel Vivas, giving Brusa a corner. Christian Lima to put it back in. Finds Patrick Ruiz. Flips it around. Here's Vasey, too far wide. Christian Lima gets tripped up. They're going to say it's all ball. And Christian Lima is hurt bad. Looks like his shin got destroyed on that one. They are going to say it is a foul, so I apologize for that. Again, in no audio, trying to read the situation as best as I can. They're going to call it a foul. Colorado players arguing it was all ball, or at least that was his intent, was to go for the ball. But still, damage was done nonetheless, so Brusa's going to get a shot to put it in the back of the net just outside of that three-point line. Not to switch sports, but Christina Lima must have sold it very well. Looks like he's doing just fine at the moment. Ruiz with the fake. Lima to put it in. Sends it out wide. Here's Vasey. Deflected out of bounds and kept alive by a Colorado player. And now here's the transition opportunity. Has a potential guy right there, but Jared Wilson able to save it. Press defense from Colorado. They know that being down a goal, less than 10 minutes left, not where they want to be. Carl looking to get involved. Here he is, sends it back. That's Vivas at the top. Deflected out of bounds. And now headed out of bounds by Manuel Vivas on the transition opportunity. Caro was not back in time, so great look-ahead defense from Emmanuel Vivas to prevent that from extending Bruce's lead. Corner kick from Brusa. Patrick Ruiz to put it in. Some words being had between the referees. Not sure what's going on. It looks like security has been called. And now they're asking security to escort. It looks like that. I shouldn't laugh. Looks like they're asking security to escort that photographer lady out of the building. It's not often you see that happen in a game. Everyone's trying to explain to the referee what, she is technically outside of the venue. She's not interrupting anything going on. Maybe her voice was able to be heard beyond the glass. You see the referee standing out there now. Colorado trying to advocate for their team photographer. This isn't something you typically see a game stopped for, especially when it's someone that's outside of the game. It's not a player, it's not a coach. It's just someone who happens to work with the team. So everyone's had their voice heard now at this point. Security will escort that lady, and the female referee saying, hey, let's get this thing started. Looks like our head referee in the middle left side of your screen is saying, no, I want everybody out. I want the people I ejected to actually be ejected. Wants a stoppage here. Our Colorado players are trying to make their voices heard once again. Once play resumes, it is going to be a Brusa corner. This is a very pivotal moment in the game, so if I'm Colorado, I cannot be focused on any of the stuff that's happening outside of the court, especially when a set piece is about to take place on your own third. If Bruce's lead extends here, that could be very troublesome for Colorado Futsal Academy. I mean, this is borderline unbelievable. Can't say I haven't seen it before, but here we go. Brusa to put it in. Wanted someone over the top, or potentially was trying to bait Caro into sticking his hand up to save it, and that is not going to be the case. So they're going to overrule it. They're going to say, yeah, he did put his hand on it. So it'll be Christina Lima to put it back in. The assistant coach for Brusa. Inside. Nascimento gets the ball taken away from him. Here's Pedro Montes on the other side. Bacana Valles yet to make an impact in this game. Montes once again. Wants his teammate inside. Not going to find him. Here's a Valles. Far side on the wing. Emmanuel Vivas up top. Takes a shot from distance. Too far out. Wilson was ready for it. It was not in between the pipes, so that ball will go back to Brusa. Pass just a little too far for Micah Vasey, so Colorado retains possession. Caro outside of the goalpost now. Will receive that pass. Gets it inside. A potential chance. Saved by Wilson. Good work there. 12 saves for him, and that's another shot off the mark. Was saved by Caro, though. Good work by him. He's now matched the amount of saves he had in the first half with 9 minutes left to go in the second. So Bruce has been making him put in the work in this second half. Here's Nascimento. Ball taken from him. Transition break. Opportunity. 2-on-3, though. That shot a little too far wide. Wilson did not have to dive for it, but it did get blocked. So a corner opportunity. Here's Ronald Rojas. Sends it inside. Oh, almost in! Off the pipe. Bacana Valles. Very, very close. If that's a centimeter to the right, it probably bounces in. Wilson just a step late on it. So the scoreline remains the same. Brusa 5, Colorado 4. Hectic game so far. Lima sends it out accidentally. It'll be Rojas to put it back in for Colorado. Not quite. Here's Vivas. Shot directly on, saved by Wilson. On the other side, Colorado will get possession back. Sent out. Here's Mateus Lima to Patrick Ruiz. Cleared out by Emmanuel Vivas. Brusa retains possession. Final in the middle third, excuse me. Lima over to Vasey on the far side. And Avias had a chance for a counterattack, but a foul is called. Vasey gets tripped up and is able to force another foul on Colorado. I'm curious to see what the foul count is on both sides up to this point. Sends it inside. Vasey wanted that pass. Good defense, though. Sends it out. Mateus Lima is going to be the one to take it in from the corner. Quick shot from Ruiz is blocked. Ovias had a one-on-one opportunity, not able to capitalize on it, though. Good defense from Nascimento. Here's Montez. Ezavivas to his right. Ovias rotating in. Ronald Rojas begging for some movement. Davis goes inside to Ovias. Here's Caro. Wants a shot. Goalie on goalie crime, potentially. Not quite. That shot was a little too high. Off the mark to the right. Mateus Lima. Oh, that's going to be a player getting tripped up, a Brusa player that was knocked off his feet. That was number 9, Kawe Martins, the head coach. Again, foul count is getting up there. Martins is asking to see how far the Colorado players need to step back before he takes it. Sees a wall of 2. He's got Nascimento to the far side. He's going to fake it. Mateus Lima to put it in now. Finds Nascimento. Saved by Caro. And now a counterattack chance. Here's Vivas. Now to Ovias. Saved by Wilson. My, oh my. 14 saves for Jared Wilson this evening. He has been unbelievable in this game. Here's Patrick Ruiz. Finds Nascimento inside. Oh! Miscommunication. Kawe Martins did not know Nascimento was behind him, so he stepped back to try to get that ball. Could have extended the lead just a little bit more. Oh, Mateus Lima had another good shot. Not able to capitalize. Still a 5-4 lead. 7 minutes to go for Brusa FC. Here's Ovias. Double teamed, not able to beat it, but they retain possession. Caro finds the ball, directing his team. Press defense. Nascimento sends it out wide. A little too far. It looked like it might have hit the post, but I think it might have been too high and too far to the right. Montez finds Ovias. Colorado needs something here. Here's Vivas with a shot. Almost. Just to the left of the goalpost. Here's Nascimento trying to make something happen here. Montez keeps it in play. Wants a teammate. Is going to find Guillen. Now here's Ovias at the top of the key. Ball sent out. Caro directing traffic. Here's Emmanuel Vivas. Finds Guillen on the far side. Vivas once again now gets intercepted by Ruiz. Kawe Martins not able to receive that pass. A lot of misconnections from this Brusa team so far in the second half. It's been a close, tight-knit game. 6 minutes left to go. Southwest Conference Final. Who is going to be hosting the championship game 2 weeks from tonight against Futsal Factory Academy? It's anyone's game still. Here's Nascimento. Finds Martins inside. One-on-one. Potentially trying to bait the keeper. Not able to do so. Great defense. Emmanuel Vivas to give possession back to Colorado. Inside who we wanted, Castellanos. He was all alone. Pass, just a little too much zip on it. And the possession turns over to Jared Wilson and Brusa FC. Here's Lima. Gets past one-on-one. What's he going to do? Martins not able to take advantage of it. Emmanuel Vivas doing anything he can to keep possession alive. Inside, here's Mateus Lima. Trying to get past Guillen. Not able to. But Canavias now, one-on-one with Vasey. Gets pushed, shoved, and now they're going to call the foul. And a yellow card on Micah Vasey. It looked like Ovias might have slipped, but regardless, they are going to say Micah Vasey not only caused the foul, but was a little too mouthy after the fact. I don't think the yellow was on the foul exactly. I think it was what he said afterward. Our referees are not taking crap from anybody. Vias to put it in the back of the net. No, not quite. I was like, I said it, and then I said, oh, am I sure? Very, very close. At least on my end. Nobody on the court was confused. Ovias, the leading goal scorer for not only Colorado, but the entire National Futsal Premier League with 16 and 4 assists. No foul called. Here's Guillen. Gets past Ruiz. Not able to keep possession, though. Switches over to Brusa. Vasey trying to take advantage of the sleeping defense. Nothing there. They want a handball. The crowd's going crazy. Saved by Wilson. "15 saves for him. Corner. Opportunity for Colorado. Ovias puts it in. Far side, that's Guillen. Here's Ronald Rojas. Caro now involved in the offense. Trying to get a man advantage. Bit of a zone defense here from Brusa. Out of bounds. Possession goes back. And it is 4 fouls for Colorado. So it looks like there has been some sort of timeout called. You see there 4 fouls for Colorado, 2 for Brusa. So we'll take a step aside as everybody talks some things out, and we'll be back when play resumes. Plays resumed. Here's Vasey trying to send it in. Not quite. Possession goes back to Colorado. Now there's a foul called instead. And now a yellow card given to Emmanuel Vivas. Holy moly. A lot going on here. That is 5 fouls on Colorado, I believe. The clock has been running for quite some time, so I do not believe that there's only 3 minutes left. I think it's closer to like 4.5. The referee's asking for everybody's tempers to calm down. So it's not quite. So it's not quite a penalty kick quite yet. I'm not sure why that foul count did not go up, but it's just outside of that white line that you see. Mateus Lima is going to be the one to put it in. He sees a two-man wall and Jean Caro directly ahead of him. Lima sends it in. Not quite. It's going to be Ruiz and gets it in! 2-goal lead! Mateus Lima, 10 goals on the season, and probably the most important one tonight. Looks like it even went off the head of Jean Caro. Unbelievable. What's up, brother? What's going on? But with just a few minutes left in the game, Brusa FC goes up 6-4 on an excellent set piece. Like we said, 10 goals for him on the season. And with only a few minutes left, that might be all she wrote. Brusa may just well be hosting the championship final on their home court on April 26th. I have no idea what's going on. I'll just be honest with you. As of now, Brusa FC's a 6-4 lead. If this result were to hold, this would be the exact same scoreline. Hey, we got sound. How about it? If this result holds, and now there's a yellow card given to number 10 of Colorado. It's Pecana Valles. Why is he? Oh, he put on it. It looks like he flipped around his jersey. I'll finish my thought there in a second, but it looks like Valles flipped around his jersey to act as the keeper. For just a brief second. So 6-4 lead, 3:47 left to go. Now that we have the complete score line. This would be the exact same score line that Brusa would win by just 1 week ago today. They won 6-4 off of a 3-goal performance from Christian Lima. Sorry, from Mateus Lima. But it's been a mix of everyone chipping in for Brusa, including the head coach, Kawe Martins, who scored the first two. Both Limas have scored, both Christian and Mateus, as well as Micah Vasey and Jan Nascimento. That set piece goes awry. And Colorado, only a few minutes left to play, but I wouldn't say the game is quite over yet. They're playing without an official keeper. Caro is subbed out. Ovias is wearing a white jersey to serve as the keeper jersey, if that makes sense. As they try to give themselves a man advantage so they can have an opportunity to score here. Have not scored since the end of the first half. Haven't scored since 6:53 in the first half. So it's been over 20 minutes since they last saw the ball in the back of the net. Caro now back in. A little bit of ball put. Oh, what an excellent save. Jared Wilson. "16 saves for him. Here's Vivas. Now to Avias. Excellent block out of bounds from Micah Vasey. Fans can taste it, they can smell it, they feel it in the air. Potentially win the Southwest Conference. Wilson is putting on an unbelievable performance. Avias trying to do anything to keep their team in. That shot too far wide. They want the quick goal on the other side, not going to be able to get it. Avias is going to put it back in. Caro ready to sub in at a moment's notice. But the leading goal scorer is wearing a white jersey and subbing in as the goalkeeper for now, just so they can give themselves a man advantage. A little over 2 minutes left to play. 2-goal deficit. That shot too far wide. Excuse me, that was blocked. Here's Vivas. Now to Guillen. That shot too far wide. Now Nascimento just trying to drain out the clock at this point. Don't want to try not to lose. You always want to play to win, but to some extent, it is worth trying to see how far you can dribble back before the other team starts to press you a little too much. That shot saved by Wilson. He is out of his mind. '18 saves for him. Avias trying to do something tricky. Here's Vivas. Ronald Rojas. Now back out to Guillen. Here's Avias. Needs something here. Castellanos. Ball pushed out of bounds. 1:31 to go. Avias wants to see something. It's pushed out of the back and not going into the goalpost just yet. But the clock is running. Time is running out. 80 seconds left. Jesus Guillen needs to move quicker than that. Vasey pushing him on defense. Here's Martins. Guarding Rojas. That shot blocked. Guillen now finds Castellanos. Blocked out of bounds. Not quite. Rojas over to Guillen. Finds Castellanos inside. Not able to connect that pass. That shot into the chest of Ronald Rojas. Here's Avias trying to save his team's chances by any means necessary. Jared Wilson getting the crowd fired up. They are 42 seconds away from a championship appearance in the National Futsal Premier League. Patrick Ruiz, now Lima, trying to run out the clock. Loses the ball. Here's Rojas. Foul is called. 35 seconds left. They need 2 goals. Can they do it? Vivas and Guillen near the ball. 3 yellow shirts and Wilson in front of the goalpost. Takes a shot into the back of the net. 1-goal deficit. Guillen scores the second of the game. .32 seconds left. That ball sent out wide. Needs something quick here. 1 more goal sends it to overtime. Remember, it cannot end in a tie. This is the playoffs, baby. 21 seconds left. '18. Colorado. A little over 10 seconds left to play. Here's Avias. Needs something here. Saved by Wilson. Less than 10 seconds. Out of bounds. 6 seconds. Kids are getting up. Lima trying to keep it in bounds. Vasey trying to put some touches on it. Is that it? Oh my. That is going to be the 6th foul on Colorado. 6th foul on Colorado Futsal Academy. A lot was going on there. So this is going to look to be saved by Yohel Delgado, who's subbing in for the first time this evening. That little kid was running on the field, on the court, because he thought the game was over. Not quite. Mike Avesi's going to put one in, potentially, to extend the lead. 1 second left on the clock. Just to extend the scoreline just a little more. A lot of yelling going on. Crowd is on their feet. Here we go. Vasey. Off the post. Doesn't matter. Bruce is going to the championship game. Kids are storming the court. And your Southwest champions are in Arizona. For the second time in 3 seasons, Brusa FC finds themselves on top of the Southwest Conference. And they will play Futsal Factory Academy 2 weeks from now on this court to decide who is the National Futsal Premier League champion. In an unbelievable game full of emotion, stress, intensity, emotion, and high stakes. It all starts with that man who's hugging kids on the court, Jared Wilson. 18 saves in an unbelievable performance. Started with Kawe Martins putting in the first 2 goals for Brusa. Christian Lima would score on a penalty kick later in that game. And in the second half, it was Mike Gavesi, Jan Nascimento, and Mateus Lima putting it away for a 6-5 scoreline in favor of Brusa. Colorado dealt with their issues on their end. Rather unfortunate, but in such a close game like this, being able to keep your emotions and being able to not let your emotions get the best of you is what mattered. Incredible performance from them. Jorge Castellanos, stellar as always. Jesus Guillen, 2 goals for him as well. Jean Caro, stellar as always, 9 saves for him. But too many yellow cards, too many fouls, and too much emotion cost him this game. That's going to do it on the second half of a doubleheader. It's going to be Futsal Factory and Brusa FC going at it live from Chandler, Arizona, 2 weeks from today. On behalf of our producer, Luke, my name is Garrett Pogg. Thank you so much on behalf of the National Futsal Premier League for watching both games of our doubleheader. We'll see you right here in 2 weeks.